everyone, this is Maki. One of the most important elements in the Gundam Unicorn story is the Laplace's box. Why is it called Laplace's box? This reason is never explained in the anime. Toward the end of the story, we learn that the box contains the hope for the future written by the first president of the Earth's Federation government. The universal century world is plagued by countless tragedies and disasters. Examples include the Principality of Xion's colony drop operation and the mass killing operation that used poison gas. There are also the repeated wars and other disasters that have struck humanity. Inside the open box, however, was hope. In this context, the name Pandora's box from Greek mythology seems more fitting. Pandora's box was a vessel from which countless disasters flew out, leaving only hope inside at the very end. This existence closely resembles the Laplace's box in the Gundam Unicorn story. So why was it named Laplace's box? This time, I'd like to analyze that. Before getting into the main topic, let me share a quick announcement. On my channel, I'm recruiting supporters through memberships. For 19 yen per month, you can get a name badge and stamps for comments. Now, let's begin the analysis. The name Laplace's box comes from the official residence of Ricardo Masnas, the first president of the Earth's Federation government. At the beginning of the story, the space colony that was destroyed by terrorists is also called Laplace. Why was the Prime Minister's official residence given the name Laplace? It is related to the real-world figure Pierre-Simon Laplace. Laplace was a French mathematician, physicist, and astronomer born in 1749. A famous concept associated with him is Laplace's demon. Simply put, it is the idea that if the cause is determined, then only one result can be determined. If the state of motion of every particle in the universe at a given time were known, then everything that would happen afterward could be calculated in advance. It's a difficult theory. Roughly interpreted, it means the future is already determined from the beginning. The concept of a being that could grasp and comprehend the state of motion of all particles in the universe is overwhelming. This concept was called a demon. Why did Ricardo give the name Laplace to the Prime Minister's official residence? Was it out of elegance, believing that the future of humanity was fixed? Or was it a way to reassure people by suggesting that humanity would be saved from extinction? In fact, the reason is something completely different. The concept of Laplace's demon was later rejected. The study of quantum mechanics rejected the existence of Laplace's demon. In the first volume of the novel, Ricardo explains why he named the Prime Minister's official residence after Laplace. Many of you may already know the origin of the name Laplace for the Prime Minister's residence. It comes from the name of a 18th century French physicist. Laplace believed that by analyzing everything that had happened in the past, from the smallest to the largest events, down to the movement of a single atom, it would be possible to perfectly predict the future. This way of thinking was later refuted by the development of quantum mechanics. It has now been proven that it is impossible to completely predict the future. We interpreted this course of history differently. Thus, we named the Prime Minister's official residence Laplace. We adopted the name Laplace to signify that the future holds limitless possibilities. That was Ricardo's explanation. The name Laplace was chosen with the possibility of the theory being disproved in mind. His hope was placed within the words, "The future holds infinite possibilities." Now, after reviewing everything up to this point, haven't you noticed something? Apart from Laplace's box, Laplace's demon also makes an appearance in the story of Gundam Unicorn. Do you know what it is? Laplace's demon is an entity that knows all of the future. There is someone who perfectly matches this description. That's right, exactly. Full Frontal. He himself is Laplace's demon. Although he is a cyber new type, Frontal possesses abilities extremely close to those of a true new type. In the novel, it's mentioned that part of Charles Noble's thoughts merged with Frontal's. Using that ability, Frontal knows the future. He knew of the end of the world, where everything collapses into darkness. This ability to know the entire future aligns completely with Laplace's demon. The people of Neo Zeon revered Full Frontal as the Red Comet. In truth, however, his real identity was Laplace's demon. He listened to people's pleas for salvation and appeared to lend a helping hand. Yet he took no responsibility for the results, treating them as if they were someone else's problem. Minba pointed out this very essence of Frontal's character. Frontal knew that humanity's end would be devoid of darkness, yet he never told anyone. Leading others to ruin while approaching them with kindness closely resembles the actions of demons that appear in many myths. Now, let's turn our attention once again to Ricardo Marsnas's words in the first volume of the novel. Now, we are about to bid farewell to the century of God. We are about to face the moment of renewing our contract. Next, we will not renew that contract with a transcendent God, but rather through dialogue with the God within our hearts and with the desire to ascend higher. Ricardo explained that a contract with the God within our hearts was necessary for humanity to progress and stand on its own. In contrast, the people of Neo Zeon chose to create Full Frontal, a transcendent being, and wished for him to guide them. Rather than confronting their own hearts, they chose to depend on a transcendent figure outside themselves. Their desire for dialogue with God led them to choose the wrong method. In doing so, they summoned a demon. This is also often depicted in myths and works of fiction. Full Frontal's true identity was Laplace's demon. As you all know, the ending is clear. Frontal is defeated. This happens because of the gentle light that Banshee Lynx showed him. However, that's not the only reason. Laplace's demon is a rejected theory. As Ricardo explained, it can also be interpreted as a concept that includes the outcome of being denied. In that sense, Frontal was fated from the beginning to be defeated. Yet he didn't just lose. After touching Banerjee's heart, Frontal spoke words filled with hope. I entrusted to you and left the story. Ricardo wished that the future holds infinite possibilities. In many stories, demons end up as defeated villains, disappearing with hatred in their hearts. But Banerjee offered a different ending to bring salvation even to the demon. For a story like this, the name Laplace is fitting indeed. Don't you think Laplace is a more suitable name for the tale of Gundam Unicorn than Pandora? Thank you for watching all the way to the end. See you in the next program.